hard workers. And that is the distinction from my own perspective. Hard work is hard work. The hard work is not, the smart working does not replace hard work. Because with all the technology, if you are not there to really press the button, if you close this when you are not supposed to close, the work will not be smart. So I think hard work is very, very good work ethic, and all of us should try and imbibe whatever aim we find ourselves. But I just want to, I don't know if it's a comment, the extent to which the salary sustains one in an establishment as a key factor. I look at salary, especially those of us working in government, as fixed. And we all know that it does not sustain, particularly in government ministries and agencies. I'm not talking of the extra ministerial departments and maybe some of these revenue generating establishments. But the majority of the establishments in Nigeria, the salary is not sustaining. And it is a very basic, it's a foundation for hard work. Some may say you're not ready to take it, you need it. It's not a good motivation at all. You know the salary before you came in. Like we started by saying that is why we are performing. We are not remunerated adequately at all. It's not encouraging. It's not something that will make you put and become so loyal. It will only take the grace of God for you to be so loyal based on the little salary you have. So I don't know if all this time you were in government, if there have been, what is the impediment of really giving a living wage to workers? That's just my own question. Okay, my name is Victor.
My name is Miranda Amati. It's really amazing and impressive what you are doing, sir, and I want to join my colleague and say to appreciate you for. Mine is just a very simple regarding clocking in and clocking out. I say with you regarding the clocking in, clocking out, with time, people will adjust. When they look at the pains of coming in and out. But my question is, while they are doing that, the breaking, coming in, just to come and clock in for righteousness sake.
Is that the microphone or the speaker? I don't know if I put it up and yes, I just all right, go ahead. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I think so. So during that period, from your experience, because that's one very interesting area to me, what other, they are doing that, was there any punishment attached to it, or you just allow the system to take care of itself before they adjusted to coming in and really doing what they are supposed to do? For example, some institutions that I know connect it to their salaries, where the clocking in will automatically register, something like that. Maybe you have such experience. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So we want to appreciate you for sharing your experience with us. It's quite exciting. I threw out your, okay, I am Simon Bagudu Joshua, Director of Environmental Quality Control. Thank you. Your thesis, your analysis were quite informative and encouraging. I pick on three things. your daughter's thesis that people no longer work hard but work smart. It's a whole thesis of its own if you look at both sides. And I also pick on dignity of labor and reward system. And the third thing is relevance. Now, from what you have said, I would want you to, from your experience, situate these 3 points that I just mentioned in the light of the national question. And the national question I'm referring to the geographical entity called Nigeria, and looking at how we have evolved and how we are even at the moment. Now, what I'm just trying to say, Prof, is that if you talk about dignity, of course the job or the labor itself the worker is offering has to be dignified. And dignifying the job has to come with the reward system. Then talking about relevance, who defines, or does the system itself defines what relevance as far as dignity and labor is concerned? So looking at our setup as a nation, where hard work is rewarded with, do I say, abuse or whatever, and laziness, if there's any word like that, is rewarded. How do you situate, how do we move on from all of these 3 things that I've mentioned? Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Mona Breno. Prof, I feel particularly honored that one from my own territory is taking on this liability for the government. I'm very passionate about one of the points you made, too, the issue of induction, orientation for new entrants into the system. That is the only way they can really buy into the mandate of the agency. That is the only way they will be passionate about the work, what they're supposed to know, what they're supposed to do, not learn on the job. Subsequently, they can now be trained and retrained. I think that was a very, very cogent observation. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. DG, senior colleagues, and everybody. Prof, I want to ask on this. Sorry, my name is Mr. Bonner, Assistant Director, Internal Audit. The smartness in terms of a job is what I want to talk. Why people, from giving what you talked about your daughter, thesis or so, I see smartness as a way of innovation. I don't know, while it might be...
Sorry, we can still be having our little refreshment.
While we want to encourage creativity, while we talk about encouraging creativity, I see smartness as a little aspect we could look into, because when somebody can use technology to do something quicker, though it might be seen as going against laws in print or the way things are done traditionally, are there good aspects of it we can copy? Because I see it as a way to move an organization forward, where you say people should think out of the box by creating results, getting results, no matter how it is, than looking at the laws in print that are not changed over time and then the organization does not get the best result, can we bring in smartness as part of work tools to encourage creativity?
Yes, we can pass the.
I want you to look at that issue of my name is Information.
Your name, sir?
First is about the collective innovation. We have had a consultant. I think during the session he made mention of something that really sticks to my mind, yes. And I believe he was right. Plugging is not the best way to make staff come to office or stay in the office, but actually to make the working environment suitable and conducive in such a way that the person would rather be in the office than somewhere else. He mentioned that it's very important. And secondly, you were talking about communication in an organization. And I want to look at it about our organization. We don't have really, the communication is, I can say to some extent, poor. I came from FEMA, Federal Road Maintenance Agency. We have what we call IGDO. That is internal information generating and dissemination, that is unit. So where everybody's number, they have it, and if there are any message or information that is important you want to pass, and they'll just send an alert, like text message to you. So you know what is happening in the organization. Like if the MD wants to go and check some road challenges across the country, or if anybody can call you from somewhere and tell you that they have a challenge, like a bridge being cut off and a road being cut off from an environment or from a community or whatever. Yes. So I want to suggest that we need something like that, yes, these days, because we have had situations whereby we have some chief executive officers from other organizations coming to this agency and having like meeting with our manager here, and this time I don't even aware of it. And it is important that at any point in time, if there are important issues that are happening, people should be carried along. Let them be aware. It's not that they have anything at stake, but at least let them be informed. It's important. And finally, where did we get it wrong about Bakassi that we lost it? Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. My name is Bonaparte. My question, I don't know whether I'm going to bring forward, but when you talk about impediments, to getting progress in the place of work, and when you also propose it with a reward system in an organization, I want to ask, like in an organization, the things that are causing a lot of things that are causing impediments, something not going well. When you look at some of the apathies, between some of these entry points. Like in Nigeria, we have people that have HND, we have people that have BSc, and when this driver starts, people that have maybe HND might be looking at it, or when it comes to in terms of promotion, there's a limit they reach, and when they reach that limit, they stagnated. So this kind of thing creates a kind of apathy, creates a kind of impediment for that person from putting more of his or her best in the work. And also when it comes to reward, and in an organization where even despite the fact you might be putting in your best, and the organization is not rewarding people accordingly, maybe not only based on civil service promotion, you might be promotion of that. Like as you say that there are some people that have that might even do, how do you put it, I think out of out of turn, one can in a place, in order to motivate and encourage people to perform, one can probably get a word out of turn. But where all these things are not obtainable in the organization, it also demoralizes one from putting in his best. So I'm asking, can an organization out of civil service lay down to invite some of these things to not encourage or motivate the staff to put in that best? Thank you.
Let me commend everybody for the attention given to my presentation, and secondly, happy that I've been able to elicit some of these comments, which mean that people listen attentively and obviously took the necessary notes as the case may be. But let me start from Kolawole Goenga. I can understand the point you were making if the necessary tools are not in place for you to go out and perform your enforcement duties, maybe because of paucity of funds, as the case may be. Again, I take it that in some instances, and I dare to say, people are expected to do the extraordinary. And when I mean extraordinary, people are expected, I think it's a civil service slogan, which may be nebulous or amorphous as the case may be, when people say that beyond the call of duty. Beyond the call of duty. That somebody had gone beyond the call of duty. It means so much in civil service. It means that you may have utilized your own internal personal resources. You would have done this out of convenience and so on and so forth. That is beyond the call of duty. It may not be all the time, but I want to tell you that when somebody moves beyond the call of duty, the management, they are noting. They are noting. If you can do so much with little, it means that if you have so much, you can even do much more. So it shouldn't be an excuse for me, for you to while away time in the office because of paucity of funds. I know that management should continue to strive to improve the budget allocation and make sure that more funds come in. But in the event that that is not fully achieved or accomplished, one is still expected to do more. Let me tell you this point. If we keep hearing the enforcement team doing the extraordinary, it helps to reposition the agency in the eyes of the public and in the eyes of government, and by so doing, it will help you to attract more funds to the agency. I don't know, it's like a circle. I wouldn't call it a vicious circle. One thing leads to the other leads to the other, and so on and so forth. So the funds you don't have, by going beyond the call of duty, you can gain the attention of government sufficiently so that the next time when you are saying that you want your budget improved, somebody will say, yes, I can see what they are doing. They need to get that. So I'm looking at it from that perspective. The reward system, promotion out of turn, is it possible? No, I would say that it is not, because management should not be encouraged to do something that is out of the rules, so to speak. But again, it is something of continuous engagement. Engagement with the necessary powers that be in that regard, labor ministry and what have you, to see how together the mindset can also change in this country along the line of promotion out of turn. Well, again, I think we missed the point somewhere along the line. For those of us in the academia, those of us that used to be in the academia, somewhere along the line we also missed the point, but we are trying to push and push and push and push. During my tour of duty all over the world, before and during and after, the key institutions in the world that seem to be at the top ranking of higher institutions in the world are those who promote out of turn. But not just that they promote out of turn, you don't equate everybody on the same pedestal. So, yes, I'm a professor. Yes, he's a professor of law. For God's sake, I'm not expected to earn the same salary. We are professors of law, the similarity ends there. What are you bringing to the table? That is what is critical. I bring to the table my expertise, I bring to the table my experience, I bring to the table so many other numerosity, my administrative acumen amongst other things, my exposure internationally and otherwise. I'm not just a professor of law. So don't pay me what you are paying Mr. B. That's how they have it. That's how they do it in Oxford Law School. That's how they do it in Cambridge. Your salary is personal to you because what you can bring to the table. So when you now hear people on level 8, everybody's paid the same thing. That's why we're in this boundary. Level 9, everybody paid the same thing. You have to wait for 3 years before you get to everybody's interviewed the same time. Why would there is no motivation? I am motivated knowing fully well that if I win a grant that will bring in almost $1 million to my institution, that can earn me promotion out of town, I will settle down and write a grant request to make sure that I attract that money. So there is a way things are done, and you find that the reward system will take care of so many other things that you don't even need to push people to work hard. People are inherently motivated, innately motivated to work hard, and that we have not been able to achieve at a higher level in this country. But eventually, I believe that I've answered part of your question, especially whether an organization can contract out of the civil service rule and promotion out of turn. But the issue of impediment to positive work ethics, talk about entry points, HND degree, people stagnate here. I know that can also be a challenge when there's a halt where above a particular level you cannot cross because of this or that. We have such challenges too. I don't even know how we were able to wriggle out of it, but it is there, and I agree. But one thing I am sure about, I don't know whether we have achieved that, whether we have been able to harmonize the HND and the university. I think to a very large extent, we have been able to harmonize every other thing along that line. So for me, that will no longer be a problem. But it is not always correct to say that because I have this degree of qualification, I cannot go beyond a particular ceiling. I don't think that is. One issue you asked a lot of questions. Interestingly, you move out of the subject for today.
Out of the box.
Bakassi was a case that was doomed to fail. We were behaving like the big boys that we are in the Committee of Nations, and then we gave out so much. At the time, maybe we never imagined that Cameroon would have the courage of conviction to go to the ICJ. We put so much away on the table to the extent that what can you say when you are confronted with in the courtroom with documents prepared by you that is against you? There's not evidence that is weightier than that. A document prepared by you that is against you. There are so many maps drawn by Nigeria, approved by sitting head of state, that put Bakassi in Cameroon. And all this were tendered in court. So it was a question of a fait accompli, and something that we could not. Did you not produce this map? We produced the map. So what else can we say about that? That is one aspect of it. The second aspect of it is the politics of the International Court of Justice. the politics of the International Court of Justice, who are the people presiding. Forget about whatever anybody will say. It's politics of the judiciary. We can't run away from that one. And that weighed against us to a very large extent. Coming back to Nigeria, I tried as much as possible to introduce that philosophy in the Nigerian Institute of Advanced Legal Studies, in the sense that there's a lot of literature, legal literature, that is lost in French language. A lot of legal literature that is lost in French language. Mark you, law is not home-based in English language. No. Law moved from Latin and then found expression around Greece, the Mediterranean, and then from France moved into England. That is the history of law. English was the last station of law. So a lot of literature that we don't know anything about, that is lost there. But the advantage of Cameroon is that they are Anglophone, they are Francophone. And being Anglophone and Francophone, they were able to appeal to the sensibilities of the English-speaking judges and the sensibilities of the French-speaking judges. We were not that favorably disposed. And so to that extent, they were able to. The only person that could vote for us was the Nigerian judge that was there, Ajibola. So we lost based on the weight of the evidence and, of course, on the fact that we were not able to. And again, France will stand with its colonies 247, but Britain will continue playing politics. They always play politics with Nigeria. Those of us that are not from the foreign affairs will not say that, but when you hold on to Britain, you are wasting your time. They only think of their own internal interests and how they can benefit. That you were once their colonies in Nigeria. Now, I take the point that communication in office is very important. And I waited for this language carried along. It's one language that I was so used to as Director General. They are not carrying us along. They are not carrying us along. Please, people should be carried along. My Director General, please, we should be carried along. In information, communication, and what have you, things have changed. This is a brand new place that you need a lot of technology. But when I came on board a little bit fairly, I started with the newsletter. But the newsletter became very, very helpful to me, more out of office than in office. But more often than not, when I want to refresh my memory about certain things that happen, I go back, I pick my volumes of the newsletter to refresh my memory and every other thing. So it can be very helpful. Again, an effective public relations department that at the shortest notice, you have a board where such information, that the DG will be receiving XYZ today. So these following people are expected to be in attendance and what have you. The DG will be visiting so place. The following management staff are expected to accompany and so on. The information is flowing. The information is, people are getting to know. They will not be part of it, but they get to know. I think that helps to a very large extent. I know that in my own way, in my own time, it worked effectively. So that people frequently, apart from management meetings, and once in a while if you can speak to all the staff at the same time. But sectorially, the directors are also very critical in this regard. Because you have a meeting, management meeting with the Director General, it's your business to go and gather people from, and then trickle down effect, let them know exactly what has been decided. It's not that the DG must be part of it at all times. Clocking in is not the best way to make staff to come to our suitable office. I beg to disagree. I beg to disagree. Which suitable office? The average Nigerian person, because of the mindset, is not enamored by the suitability of an office. Even if it is the best air conditioner you put in that office, it doesn't work. I used to tell people that if there was a way that I defaulted as Director General, I have employed people due to pressure out of town. Due to pressure, I did that. cannot fault me in any other way, but on that one, I plead guilty. People will come and lie down in your office with a note from the highest person you can think of. And you now call the secretary and say, please, do a letter of appointment. No interview, nothing. I did that. I plead guilty, but it was inevitable. And then you now sign that letter, and it is after that you may never see that person again. That is the challenge of our nation. You may never, if there's anybody who is not coming to work, he or she is one of them. The same person that lay on the floor begging for a job is the one that is the culprit thereafter. Either he or she never valued the job, had an issue, or just wanted to put that in the pocket as something that will be fetching money while she goes about doing boutique business and other things that are much more important to him or her. So I don't know how we can go about it, but it is a very major thing. So that's why I said, clock in. Clock in. Let us see how you can circumvent it. Clock in. But again, like somebody mentioned here, we must make sure that we keep the person busy. Sectorially, let's keep the person busy. Even if it is to stay there and be making tea for the director, do it, even if it's not your job description, so that we can monitor you. That is the point. So we keep you busy, and then until you now adjust, because they always adjust over a period of time when they know that they are not just making too much money as they expect from outside. They are burning their fuel, which they may not have money to fuel their tank anymore, amongst other things. They will stop advancing, as the case may be. Smartness is a way, smartness is a way of innovation, thinking out of the box. You see, I think we can address so many issues about this working smart. For me, the bottom end of it is productivity. Do you achieve your result? So if this is a result to achieve, and somebody works smart to achieve that result, and somebody works hard and does not achieve the result, I'd rather work smart. That is just that. It's the result. Which result do you want to achieve? So it's productivity for me, is the bottom line. So once you get to bottom line, faster and better and earlier than somebody who is holed up in an office, doesn't know which file to look at, doesn't know how to go about one research or the other, in order to produce a report that will be submitted to the DG first thing on Monday morning. I don't care how you have been killing yourself and ending sleepless night. I would rather go with the person who, within the shortest possible time, has been able to touch the necessary things, get the necessary report, and then achieve result. I believe that, for me, is the smartness we're talking about. So, combination of it, if you do it repeatedly. I was in Asaba just over the weekend, and His Excellency the Governor of Rivers State called me that they want to do a lecture for their deceased Attorney General, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Emmanuel Agoma, and they want to do a lecture on rule of law, blah, 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 blah. Prof, can you do me a lecture, and so on and so forth? I said, when is the date? They said 12th of September. Time is very short for me to do a public lecture of that magnitude, but I'll see what I can do. So the pressure kept mounting. I was doing the wedding introduction of my daughter in Asaba on Saturday, and I'm expected to deliver a paper by yesterday. But in the midst of all these things, I was able to wriggle out one way or the other. All my computer, everything I've done, and so on and so forth, in the area of rule of law, I pulled them out. By yesterday, when I got back to Abuja yesterday, everything was ready. I mailed a 30-page lecture to them in Port Harcourt, which they have to publish. All I'm trying to say, in effect, is that I didn't need to go and start reading all over again. I have some of those things here and there. All I needed to do was to put things in proper perspective, and then I formulated a 30-page lecture, obviously incorporated what an Attorney General should be doing under the rule of law, among so many other things. In other words, creating my own paper through my idea. I was never an Attorney General, But having been at the corridors of the office of the Attorney General for more than 10 years, I knew so much about that office, and I was able to use that. All I'm trying to say is that that is working smart. For me to work hard, that paper in 6 months, I may not put it out. But in less than 1 week, working smart, you're able to put out some of those things. My learned friend, you talked about induction, orientation of new persons. It's very critical, I agree with you. It's very, very critical. People must be made to understand why they are in a given place. You make them understand the value they can add, what they can also take out, and so on and so forth. Very early in the day, they know a lot about their remuneration and the reward system, so that if they don't want to continue, that's the best time for them to move out, among so many other things. It is important that they know. Teach them the rudiments, the hierarchy, and so on and so forth. Most Nigerians are hopeless when it comes to protocol. Somebody must be able to put somebody through. The worst are lawyers. Lawyers know next to nothing about protocol. But one thing is that, do we have those set of people who can sit down quietly and they observe? No, you don't find them. You don't normally find them. But there's need for it. There's need for it going forward, especially protocol. When the DG comes into a place, yes, I noticed that we all stood up, and that's what it's supposed to be. It's part of protocol. When he moves into your office, you are supposed to be on your feet all through his stay there until he leaves. You should be standing. There's certain basic elements of protocol that are never taught in the offices. Even for some of us, we learned by observing. You learn by, when your boss is working, you don't walk side by side with your boss. You walk a step behind. Watch the vice president and the president. Watch other people. That's the way it is done. Basic protocol that people don't understand, but they need to be taught. It must be during orientation that people learn some of these things. So that is also very, very critical. Now, Simon, 3 things: work smart, dignity of labor, relevance from experience to this point in the light of the national question. Fine. I don't know the national question we are talking about. But if I understand you, because in my place they say that the ear that listens is inside. It's not this one. If I understand you very well, you are talking about federal character. There's no two about it. That's what we are alluding to. But for me, I think that federal character is very, very important for us. But again, it depends on the application of federal character. See, people just think that federal character is to take away from merit what ought to be for merit and then keep the other one. No. In the Institute of Advanced Legal Studies, we are allowed to take up to a 2-2. We don't do third class. We can take 2-2. But from other parts of the country, we take first class and 2-1. If federal character requires that we take a 2-2, we do. That does not deviate from the quality of people we bring into the institute. But we do that in a way that we satisfy all the requirements as far as federal character is concerned. So a 2-2 material is not a bad material. It's not. But a 2-2 material may not be a first-class material, but it satisfies our requirement, and then we are able to. So anytime we go to Federal Character Commission, they say, you're okay, you are fine, because you've been able. There is no part of Nigeria in terms of state that is not reflected in the institute. There is no, maybe somebody will have one, the state may have one, the others may have 20, but at least one is reflected. So the dignity of labor, work smart, they are all taken into consideration as far as federal character is concerned. But one thing we can tell you is that we keep waiting until you give us a 2-2 from X state. We are not going to do third class. But in other states, we may say, no, beyond first class, we cannot go. We cannot even look at 2-1 from some of these places. So these are the issue of, I believe in federal character. I believe that it's very important for the survival of our own Nigerian project. I believe that without it, a lot of anomalies. But all we're trying to say is that whilst we practice it here, we should also endeavor to practice it all over and elsewhere. Now, Madam Macri, clocking in and clocking out. Why were they not clocking in? Was there any comment? Yes. Well, we note that, All the people that failed to clock in were noted, and like I said, when it comes to distributing some of the, I won't call it purposes of office, some of the chief executive's discretion, you know how to go about it. I'll call for the list. Who and who, especially if they are lawyers, who and who will attend the International Bar Conference abroad, who and who will attend this. We will look at the list. This one has been consistent, this one has been serious-minded. You have to go. With that, you see that everybody's, why did X go and I'm not going? And they are told because X did this and you didn't. You see that they are thinking of the next time around. So they must conform, they must be. So there are so many ways that you don't need to punish them by facing disciplinary committee. No, but you can exercise discretion in a way that is even more punitive. In a way that is more punitive. So that for me is sufficient punishment. My brother Victor, well, I've talked about this lazy, smart workers, hard work is smart. I think I've covered it when I talked. Extent to which salary sustains, I agree with you. People are not adequately remunerated, and that can be an impediment. But I keep saying, take solace in the fact that you are part of the 7 million. It could be worse. That is the corollary, that you are part of the 7 million. If you are not, it could be worse. So whilst we engage with the powers that be and the appropriate authorities to see how this salary can be improved upon, let us always have it at the back of our mind that it could have been worse, as the case may be. The only thing that I know that I am not too comfortable with at the moment, and I always mention that, is the state of pension and pensioners. I'm not comfortable about that. I'm not just too comfortable. The remuneration you can manage. But what happens post-office, and from what we have seen outside, it's not the best. It's not the best. And I used to say it anywhere that if I'm thrown back to the office and I see money to grab, I will take it. Without apologies. Unless the system changes, if I see money, I will take. Take me to EFCC. My children will enjoy that money after. Because I've seen people leave office and they cannot go to hospital thereafter. And the next thing is that not just that they die in misery. It is a hopeless death. And nobody will wish anybody that after serving your nation meritoriously for how long. So the issue of pension is one thing we must look at closely if we want to stop all this issue of corruption or no corruption. The people that are corrupt are the people that can go to any hospital anywhere in the world. They can sustain themselves at old age. Those who are clean cannot. And you are preaching to the wrong person. You are preaching to the wrong person. So that if people see the opportunity, they want to grab. Because there is a tomorrow, as far as they are concerned. And I bet you, I don't hold it against them. I don't hold it against them. I've seen people die in misery. We have been called to contribute and contribute and contribute because somebody who served meritoriously cannot even afford the basic treatment. They cannot. So, I have not seen the senior citizens law, whether it has been passed to you. What do you enjoy as a senior citizen in this country? Whether from 55 or 60 upwards, what do you enjoy? Out there, you don't pay anything. Even transportation is either non-existent or half, or there are so many things to be enjoyed by a senior citizen. And what betide you if by the time you retire, your children are still in school, then you are finished material. So these are challenges, and then we cannot run out of them. This year, I think that I have addressed all the
we'll try to make it in a way that from time to time, if you have busy time, I'd like to ask you to stop by, talk to us. We may then be selecting some themes or topics. Are you in all the discussions? You are the DG of Institute of Advanced Legal Studies. They've done a few things on environmental law, and I think it's something that you use your good office connections there to see where that aspect go a lot further. Especially too, I had some discussion with you last time you came. As you're aware, the issue of environmental law is not that strong here. Many of our learned people, they're still not much into it, even to the level of those bench. So areas where we can do a lot together to see how that can come on board. I mentioned to you, what's his name? It's not a professor, Omokai, that's right. Omokai actually was just a lawyer when he was introduced and started working with us. That was then FAPA. But his first training was supported and facilitated by FAPA. His first training in Nairobi, Now, Omokai, I was impressed when he gave me one big book he wrote on environmental law in Nigeria. Very impressive. So that's an area we really would like to see how we can work a lot together with you. Otherwise, you can see my colleagues here were very happy. We have this time to come to talk to us. And you also came in a very special day. You were wondering, the last time you came, maybe some of us were wearing suits. And then you came today, we were like a bit different. Incidentally, every Thursday, we always wear Nesrea. In all our field offices, state offices, zonal offices, and headquarters, must wear something reflecting Nesrea. And since we are here today, I think maybe you become part of the Nesrea family. What I'm not too sure, I think. Let me see if how big is it? How big is the t-shirt? Huh? We need to open it here. There's no point for you to go with the t-shirt. But there's another one.
No,
beyond looking at here.
This is okay for him. It's going to fit him.
You think so?
Yes.
It's okay?
Yeah.
Okay, make props matter. Okay, props. So, what you have that? We've formed this Green Corps. Green Corps is a volunteer initiative of Nesrea, where those who are not really enforcement organizations or enforcement officers can do something, just like you have for the road marshal.
Yeah, the road marshal.
So, and this is a very important area when we feel those of you are very familiar with the law and also help us to get it going. We've launched it here in Abuja for this zone, but along the line, I think the director will take note. People like you may have to extend a special invitation to see how you can become part of the Green Corps. And we are lucky we didn't see any lapel pin. So since you are here with us, it's a pleasure to also to provide you with one of our own lapels. We are very highly honored.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we thank you so much for sharing your experience, your knowledge, your intelligence, your expertise. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Again, on behalf of my colleagues, we say thank you so much. Can we get this to my office a little bit?
Okay, sir.
Thank you very much. Nice meeting you.
Lorenzo, let them take this to DG's office. The one